Okay, the next forbidden health food is red meat, probably one of the most unfairly criticized health foods out there. Red meat has been blamed for cancer, heart disease, obesity, osteoporosis, premature aging, and lots of other nasty things. And it's just not true. So I posted a link to a really good article that debunks the big meat myths because what I wanted to focus on in this video are the critical nutrients in red meat that are really hard to get in other food sources. Why red meat is such an important part of your diet. First reason is B12 and iron. Red meat is a very rich source of B12 and iron, and it's a hard nutrient to get in other sources, especially if you're a vegetarian. B12 and iron are critical for a lot of different functions in the body, but especially keeping your blood healthy and preventing you from getting anemic. Now, this is really critical for menstruating women because when you lose that blood every month, you have to have B12 and iron to replace your blood and to prevent you from losing hemoglobin and red blood cells. So I do a lot of blood work in my practice, and believe me, there are a lot of anemic menstruating women out there, and it's largely because they've been told that red meat is bad for them, it's going to clog their arteries, it's going to make them fat, so they've put to the side red meat and they're getting more and more anemic, and the big symptoms are fatigue, brain fog, low sex drive, just deficient energy in general. They just never feel well, and so much of that could be prevented from eating red meat regularly. Not all anemias, but a lot of anemias could be prevented with just getting red meat. B12 is also critical to keep your brain healthy. So we talked about eggs, why eggs are such an important brain food. Red meat is also because of the B12 content. Second, CoQ10. CoQ10 is a nutrient you've probably heard of for healthy heart function, energy production, things like that, but especially its superstar reputation is for supporting the heart muscle and preventing things like congestive heart failure as you age. Red meat and beef heart are the two richest sources in the diet of CoQ10. So nobody's going to eat beef heart. That's why we have to eat red meat to get that CoQ10. So CoQ10 deficiency has a lot of different symptoms, but fatigue is probably the biggest one. Now, right behind CoQ10, or right along with CoQ10, is carnitine. Carnitine is another really important heart nutrient. It's an amino acid that your body can produce small amounts of, but red meat is the easiest, best way to get carnitine. So it's getting a lot of research for different heart issues, fatigue issues. A lot of people believe that carnitine is a very important weight loss nutrient because it helps bring fats from the blood into the cells and burns them as energy. So CoQ10 and carnitine, two really important heart nutrients, are really abundant in red meat. And you may see the irony in this, that you've been told for a long time to avoid red meat for your heart, but it's got two of the most important heart nutrients that you can get. What else is in red meat? Phosphorus. Phosphorus is a really important mineral for energy production, bone health, preventing joint stiffness, but especially fatigue. When you get low in phosphorus, you just tend to get more fatigued in general. Now, we should be getting plenty of phosphorus from the grains we eat, things like wheat, bread, but the wheat and the grains in general that we use in the United States are improperly grown and harvested and improperly prepared, so we don't absorb the phosphorus from them. And that's why we really are dependent on red meat to get an extra source of phosphorus to prevent that fatigue, to prevent osteoporosis, things like that. Another mineral that is really important to get from meat is zinc. We could do 10 videos about how important zinc is. Zinc is critical for your immune system, for keeping your hormones balanced, for keeping your blood sugar stable, for keeping healthy gastrointestinal function, skin health. Zinc is important for so many chemical reactions in the body. And we are in big trouble with zinc deficiencies in the United States for two reasons. One, we don't get enough zinc from our diet. We don't eat enough foods like red meat. And two, we eat way too much bread and sugar. The more bread and sugar that you eat, the more zinc you lose. So we have two big reasons for suboptimal zinc status in our bodies. Now, red meat is not the biggest source of zinc. Oysters are. But again, none of us are eating oysters. Red meat's going to be the best way to get that zinc. We do a lot of the zinc taste test in our office. This is a really easy and accurate way to determine what the zinc status is in your body. Depending on what you taste when you swish this around your mouth, it gives you a pretty good indicator of where you're at, either high optimal zinc or low dangerous zinc levels. So zinc is a critical nutrient that you really need some red meat in your diet for. So we've got B12 and iron, CoQ10, carnitine, phosphorus, and zinc. Those are what I see as the critical nutrients that, yeah, they're in some other food sources, but they are loaded in red meat, and red meat's going to be your best, most efficient way to get them. So let's talk quickly about some problems people have with red meat. The biggest is digestive problems, breaking down red meat. A lot of people get bloated after eating red meat. They may get acid reflux, and the major reason for this is insufficient stomach acid production or low hydrochloric acid production. This is especially common when you age, especially when you start getting over 50. It's very common for your hydrochloric acid to start going down. Zinc deficiency. So we talked about how many people are low in zinc. Zinc deficiency is another big reason that people aren't making enough hydrochloric acid. So red meat requires a lot of stomach acid to break down those tough collagen fibers in the meat tissue. So when you don't have enough stomach acid, you're going to just get bloated, or you won't crave red meat like you used to. You just won't feel right after eating it. So this is where digestive enzymes like Zypan really come in, that are really important. Zypan has a lot of betaine hydrochloride, which is turned into stomach acid and helps you really easily break down that red meat. If you're over 50 years old, you really need to be taking Zypan or something similar to it to digest meat. Now, even with that, realistically, some people watching this are just never going to eat red meat. They just don't like it, or they have some aversion to it. It's really critical, if you're not eating red meat, to supplement the major minerals from meat. So that would be zinc and iron, and then the major vitamin you need to supplement is B12. So zinc, iron, B12. The easiest way to get all of those is with trace minerals B12 from Standard Process. That's a beautiful balanced form of all those critical minerals to keep your immune system healthy and to keep from getting anemic. You're probably also going to need to supplement some CoQ10 and carnitine too. Supplements like Cardio Plus from Standard Process. A lot of different ways that you can do that to get the CoQ10 and carnitine. So if you don't eat meat, you can get those nutrients, but you're going to have to get creative with supplementing them. Another problem with meat is the quality sources of meat. So there's conventional beef, and that's grain-fed beef, and then you have grass-fed beef. Now, just like we talked about with the eggs, it's much better just to get the food than worrying about getting the most pristine, highest quality of the food. So even if you never get grass-fed beef, if you just get regular beef, it's going to be much better than not eating the beef at all. But grass-fed beef is a much better source of conjugated linoleic acid, which is a fat that we talked about in the butter video for helping you burn fat. And also a lot of research showing it helps protect you from different cancers that are out there. The problem is grass-fed beef is more expensive. So I put a link to a website called uswellnessmeats.com. That is the most economical way you can get your grass-fed beef. You buy it in bulk, so you get big discounts on whether it's hamburgers, steaks, bacon, sausage, any beef product you can imagine. It's going to be on that website. So that's a great website. Check them out. A lot of good products on there. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you. Remember, the most demonized foods that are out there today, butter, eggs, and meat, are the highest in the critical nutrients that you need to keep you healthy. So if you just take the conventional mainstream nutrition advice that's out there, do the exact opposite, you're probably going to do all right. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. We'll see you next time.